Welcome to the lesson, the vision and the mission. Every successful company started their business not just to make money. If someone is starting a business just thinking that I want to make money, I want to become freaking rich, that business will never last, right? All the successful billion-dollar companies or million-dollar companies are the companies started with a vision and a mission to make a difference in the planet. They started the business just because they want to contribute something to the planet and solve some of the problems in the planet. So every company, a successful business must have a vision statement and a mission statement. Our vision came through this great personality, Mahatma Gandhi, which is called the rhythm. Raise yourself to help mankind. So far, throughout this entire process, what we have basically done was helping you to raise yourself. Because until and unless you raise your standards, raise yourself to a certain level, there's no use of your existence. If you cannot help yourself, how can you basically help others? That's impossible, right? There's a great example why you need to raise yourself first. If you are on an aeroplane, suddenly if the oxygen mask fall down, what do you need to do? You need to first help yourself. That means you need to fix the oxygen mask on your face first. Because if you can't help yourself first, there's no use from you. You can't help the people who are dependent on you, right? So first you need to help yourself. So when you help yourself, then you can help others by helping them to put on their oxygen masks, right? So along with that vision, we have a great mission, a mission statement, which is called touching a billion hearts, making a difference and making an impact on 1 billion people's lives. And that's what I'm living for. And that's the mission of my life. And today I'm handing over this vision and mission to you who are going to become a part of this journey together with us. All right. So together, we are basically going to make a difference in 1 billion people's lives, making a huge contribution to this planet. All right. So with that, let's get to the topic. So before I explain to you much more in detail about our vision and mission and how it is basically applied in our business project, I want to explain to you about there are two types of direct selling models. There are two types of direct selling models available in this planet. Number one, there are product-oriented direct selling companies. The other type is business-oriented direct selling companies. So the product-oriented direct selling companies are basically focused 80 to 100% on selling products and services. They are more focused on selling products and services. And they are probably using most of the FMCG products, okay, which are actually cheap priced, okay, fast moving products, which is easy to sell. So because of that, they can sell in bulks to many customers. As the product prices are very low, the commissions will be very small. But because you're selling bulks of products, you can also make some considerable amount of money. So these product-oriented direct selling companies are probably having a very low startup cost. You are basically buying a product package, maybe few of the FMCG products. So with that product purchase, basically you are going to become a business partner of a product-oriented direct selling company, right? But the problem is they're expecting you to buy product every month. Okay, that means you need to buy some of the products every month. Understand? And the next point, these companies are more focused on pushing their business partners to sell more and buy more products and services every month. So they are more focused on sales. The more sales you make, the more money you make, right? So these companies are basically pushing you so hard to make more and more sales, right? So basically, I need to use the word called a salesman, okay, if you are basically getting involved in a product-oriented direct selling company, okay? You are basically working as a salesman. The more you sell, the more money you make, right? Now, a business-oriented direct selling company basically focus about 20% on selling products. 80% of their focus is on expanding the distribution network, creating a huge distribution network. That means they are more business-oriented. They are focusing on making more money rather than selling more and more products. They are thinking about building a business more than doing more and more sales. That's the difference, right? So in these business-oriented direct selling companies, they are probably having a lot of unique products. But these unique products are not that easy to sell because these unique products are having a higher price, okay, not too cheap. But still, by selling a small amount of products or services, they are making a huge commission because they are looking for little high-ended customers. You understand? Okay. And at the same time, starting with a business-oriented direct selling company is little expensive. There's going to be a high startup cost. That means basically you're going to buy a product or a service which is going to be a little bit costly compared to a product-oriented direct selling company, right? But the advantage is that You are just going to buy a product or a service just once in your lifetime. You're never going to buy again and again and again, similar to a product-oriented direct selling company, right? So these business-oriented direct selling companies are basically focused on the personal development of their business partners, because they are focusing on building a businessman or a businesswoman rather than focusing on building more and more salesmen. So because of that, they are focusing more on developing the person, developing more leaders, developing the character of the person, and making sure that they are going to stick to the business because of the values where the company is basically instilling in them. All right. So with that, let me help you to see the differences between this product-oriented model and the business-oriented model, because I've seen the both models in last decade. I met a friend, a best friend of mine, a few years ago, and he actually came to me with a direct selling company. And I asked some of the questions from him. And I actually had a detailed discussion with him. And with that detailed discussion, I had a lot of realizations. So I'm going to explain to you about his story, my friend's story. But as I'm explaining it to you, I'm not going to use the names of the companies because I don't want to do free publicity because I'm not getting paid for that. Just kidding. Okay. So my friend joined a direct selling company called Company A. The company was basically focused on selling more and more cosmetic products. And that was one of the biggest direct selling companies in the world, right? And he was focusing on selling more and more cosmetic products with that company. And he started building a team slowly. And he started having an organization. So with that organization, he did good enough sales and he started making good enough money. Suddenly, he realized that there's a company in the market called Company B, which is also selling the cosmetic products, but little bit better than Company A. So what happened? This person, my friend, decided to jump to that Company B, and then he explained about all the cosmetic products in Company B to his team, which was in Company A, and he got all of them jump again to the Company B. So there was an article written in Thailand. Okay, this incident happened in Thailand. In 1 week, 100,000 people jumped from Company A to Company B because Company B was a new company, started a direct selling plan, who also had the best cosmetic products in the world. You understand me? So now he jumped from Company A to Company B because of what? Because of the product, right? And the same guy, same friend, jumped from Company B to Company C because Company C was selling even better cosmetic products. He also jumped to that Company C with his team, which was there in Company B, right? All his business partners he took from Company B to Company C, right? And then I asked him, what did you do after that? Are you still doing Company C? He said, no. I said, why? No, and it's very difficult to sell cosmetic products in Thailand. Because it's a country which focuses much more on beauty products, right? There are thousands of companies selling cosmetic products. So because of that, there's a huge competition in the market. So it's very difficult to sell cosmetic products. Every time I go to a customer and try to sell the cosmetic products, somebody gonna tell, this is good. But if I buy it from that company, it is going to be much more better, right? So because of this competition, he said it's very difficult to sell cosmetic products in Thailand. So with that, he decided to jump from Company C to Company D with his organization, with his team, and then he started to sell travel packages. And he started to talk to customers and start selling travel packages, right? And I asked him, are you still doing Company D? He said, little bit. I said, why not too seriously? Because there are so many companies now in Thailand selling travel packages also. There are a lot of travel agents. Okay, there are a lot of websites which is selling different travel packages. So with that, I realized if you belong to any product oriented direct selling company, sometime or other, if another company, okay, come up with a better product, you're going to lose your organization and you're also going to decide to jump to that company, right? So that is where I realized that I can never build an organization. I can never get other people's time, leverage other people's time, okay, because they will quit one day. Why? Because another company would always come up with a better product, right? So people are jumping from company to company, company to company, company to company, company to company. This is the biggest problem in this industry of direct selling. So now with this realization, I realized that direct selling is not about selling products and services. It is all about building people and making sure that you are creating a huge value into a person's life. With that value they get into their life, that is where they focus on sticking into your business for the rest of their life, right? So I want you to know, we are partnered with the best product manufacturers in the world. Okay, biggest product manufacturers we are partnered with. But still, we are more focused on building the business rather than selling products. Why? Because I don't want any of my people to leave the business because of another innovative product, right? So now I also want you to understand one more factor. Can I say I am number one in any industry? Can I say? I cannot. Can Apple say they are the number one in mobile phone business? Can they say that? No, they cannot. They come up with the best mobile phone, right? Samsung built something better than that, right? And after that, they come up with a better product. Samsung again come up with a better product, right? And suddenly, Sony built a better product than all, right? Again, Samsung, Apple, Samsung, Huawei, Apple, Samsung, Apple, Samsung, Apple, Samsung, right? This goes on, right? So it is called as an infinite business model. Infinite. It's an infinite game. There's no winner, right? Maybe for now, Apple may be the best. 3 months from now, maybe Samsung. 4 months from now, maybe Apple, right? You can never define who is the winner. Similarly, if it comes to the laptop business, HP, Dell, Toshiba, Lenovo, Asus, HP, Toshiba, like that. You understand? It is an infinite game. So if you are in the business because of a product, because of HP, you also quit the business because HP is not going to be the number one, right? Dell, come up with a better laptop, right? Then you cannot sell this one, right? You understand? And then Toshiba, Asus, right? So continuously, every time, the number one product will always change. You understand me? Right? So that is where, when it comes to this concept of direct selling, this model of direct selling, it is not relevant for you to focus on the product. If you focus on the product, that is the only reason you're also quitting the business at any time. You understand? So can we stop focusing on the product? Can we stop focusing on all the products and can we only focus on building the business? Can we do that? No, we can't. If we do that, we are coming into that category of pyramid schemes, which are scams. We need to focus on the product, but not 100%. About 20% focus on the products, right? 80% focus on the business, building a business, right? We need to play in this range. 20% focusing on the product, 80% focusing on the business. If you focus 100% on the business, that is where we are also coming under a pyramid scheme or a scam. Understand? So now, why do people stick to us as business partners for their lifetime? Why? Because we are very good at retention of people. That means whoever get into our business project will never leave us because we focus so much on their personal development, character development, and helping them to develop every aspect of their life. Their relationships, okay, their relationship with the people they know, the relationship with the family members of them, right? Becoming a better father, becoming a better son, right? Becoming a better spouse. Okay, it doesn't matter. We are helping them to grow their personality to an extreme level, and that is where they stick to us for the rest of their life. If we want to touch 1 billion hearts, we need to develop 1 billion people's lives, and we need to help them to overcome their personal challenges, and we should help them to have a personal development and help them to develop their character, right? So you are going to stick to us not because of a product or a service, but we are going to explain to you about all the products and services also, right? You're going to stick to us because of the values we instill in you, because of the personal development you had so far, and much more personal development which you're going to have throughout this journey, right? You're going to stick to us because we both going to share a common vision, and we both going to run towards that common vision. At the same time, we both have one single mission to make a difference of 1 billion people in this planet, to impact, for them to do better, right? So with that, let me explain to you with one simple quote. Throughout our business, you basically don't build a business, okay? You build people, and then people build a business. So I want you to know, slow is fast. Fast is always slow, which means slow is fast means slowly we are developing our business partners to be extreme good at what they do, extreme good at mindset, okay? Each individual think as Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, all these great personalities, right? So we are developing people to an extreme high level. So developing a person to an extreme high level takes a lot of time. So slowly, when we develop a lot of business partners to an extreme high level, then our business is going to be very fast in a long run. Slow is fast and fast is slow. So fast is slow means we focus on sales more and more, right? Growing our business and expansion so fast. We are focusing on that. When we focus on that with no patience, that means we are doing something fast. So our business partners don't know what they actually got into. So they quit, right? So fast is always slow. So now with that, I'm going to explain to you much more detail about our vision and mission. So to start that, I'm going to take an example of Coca-Cola. Do you know about this company, Coca-Cola? Of course. Have you had a Coca-Cola? Yes, for sure, right? So Coca-Cola is a company who built the biggest distribution network in the world. Coca-Cola is available everywhere. Every city, Coca-Cola is already there, right? You go to a city where there is no internet. Still, you can find Coca-Cola. They are distributing Coca-Cola, Fanta, Sprite, and few other beverages, right? So when it comes to this business of beverages, Coca-Cola is spread over 190 plus countries in this planet and becoming the number one seller who is selling beverages in the entire planet, right? So Coca-Cola is successful not because of the product, not because of the taste of it, because there are some other competitors, okay, like Pepsi, Thumbs Up, okay, there are other competitors also making the same product. In some markets, people like to take Pepsi compared to Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola is number one and biggest in the world, not because of the taste of the product, but because of its distribution network. The system they have to take their brand name to every city in the world. That's why Coca-Cola is number one, right? So Coca-Cola is also called as the biggest distribution network in the world because it has moved and gone through all the cities, villages, or maybe continents or wherever, and it has reached up to every person in this planet. Can you find out at least a single person who didn't drink a Coca-Cola yet? Or a Sprite? Or a Fanta? You can't, right? So now, suppose Coca-Cola wants to sell a new product called a Coca-Cola chocolate. What do you think will happen? Immediately, this product will be available in the entire planet. People will be eating Coca-Cola chocolate. You, wherever you are at the moment, will be eating a Coca-Cola chocolate immediately after a couple of weeks. If they make a decision to add a new product to their distribution network, it will be available in the every corner of the planet. Every city, every village, it will be available. That is a strength and that is the power of the distribution network of Coca-Cola. So this is the word I'm going to use in the next few minutes. Okay, distribution network. So now think about this for a moment. What if Coca-Cola allows you to create your own product and add it to their distribution network? Let me repeat again. What if Coca-Cola allows you to create your own product or build your own product and add it to their distribution network? What is going to happen? Your product will be available in everywhere in the planet, right? And 1 month from now, you will be become an instant billionaire, US dollar billionaire. Why? Because of the power of the Coca-Cola's distribution network. 100% sure about that, right? If you put your product to Coca-Cola distribution network, you can sell billions of products, right? And you can actually become a US dollar billionaire, right? Immediately, right? So now the problem is that Coca-Cola doesn't want to partner with another product manufacturer. They only distribute their own products. What if Coca-Cola let Cadbury or maybe any chocolate company to partner with them and put their product into the Coca-Cola distribution network? That company will immediately become a $1 billion company, right? You understand? So with that, let's see Coca-Cola's distribution process. So buying a Coca-Cola can would cost about $2 US, right? If you're buying it from the supermarket, it could cost about $2 US. How much do you think is the production cost of this Coca-Cola can? Probably about $0.4 US. All right. So if you are buying 500 Coca-Cola cans, probably it would cost about $1,000 US. The production cost could be about $200 US for 500 cans, right? So these cans are coming to you at the supermarket through a long distribution network. Okay, there's going to be a regional distributors, and then products are coming to country dealers, and from country dealers to the wholesalers, wholesalers to the retailers. Retailers are the shops where you are buying the Coca-Cola cans, right? So all these middlemen are making money. About 20% of the money basically made by these middlemen. All right, and also there are some other costs. Okay, employee salaries, rentals of the shops. Okay, some utility charges. Other than that, the huge percentage of money goes to advertising and marketing. 60% of the money goes to advertising and marketing. So Coca-Cola is spending billions of US dollars on TV channels, TV advertisements, newspaper advertisements, posters, banners, cutouts, magazines, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, advertisements. Right? They're spending billions of dollars on ads and marketing. Right? So now this is the distribution process of Coca-Cola. Similarly, if you focus on buying a TV, a television, okay, if you're buying a TV for $2,500 in the market, in the shop, okay, probably the manufacturing cost is around $500. If it is a mobile device, if you are buying for $500, the manufacturing cost or the production cost is $100, right? All the middle money is made by the middleman, right? So now if you are buying a laptop, suppose it's an HP laptop, if you are buying for $1,000, the production cost is somewhere around $200, right? So now I want you to know what we are basically doing. We are cutting off all these middlemen and we are connecting the product from the manufacturer directly to the customer utilizing e-commerce, and we are going to have a saving of $800 in the middle, out of which 50% goes to the customer, who is becoming a customer first and then becoming a business partner, and then getting the privilege to recommend products and services and make money, right? 50% goes to the customers, back to the customers, right? So with the change of implementing direct selling in this model, what we are basically doing, we are also growing a distribution network globally. Same as Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is paying for advertising and marketing, right? And they're operating shops everywhere, right? Regional distributors, retailers, right? Wholesalers, they're having many other people to do their business. We are cutting off all these people and we are utilizing direct selling, and we are having all our business partners in different parts of the world. Okay. Similarly, we are growing a global distribution network where billion-dollar companies can partner with us and use our distribution network to sell their products and services to the entire planet. So this way, we are growing globally, right? So now, what is our vision? Raise yourself to help mankind, right? So we are raising up a business partner, right? We are raising their character, attitudes, right? We are developing them to become a big businessman. We are helping them to develop their mindset, right? So we are raising a person, raising a business partner first, right? And similarly, we are in the mission of touching 1 billion hearts. We are going to raise 1 billion business partners globally. So when we build a distribution network of 1 billion business partners, what is going to happen? We are going to be even much more bigger than Coca-Cola's distribution network. We are going to be the biggest distribution network in the planet, right? That is our mission, right? Building a distribution network of 1 billion business partners, and we are helping 1 billion people to make a difference in themselves. And we are going to basically touch 1 billion hearts. Through that, we are going to sell products and services to the entire planet. All right. So now you may be asking the question, oh, it's a good idea, but is it possible? Right? How is it possible, right? So let me tell you, let me assure you, our distribution network at the moment is on more than 160 plus countries. Let me repeat again. We are already on more than 160 countries in the world. In some countries, we are much more bigger than Coca-Cola. That's why billion-dollar companies are partnering with us, because they know we are willing to partner with them and add their products into our distribution network and get the support of all the business partners and sell their product to the entire countries. You understand? So we are one of the biggest distribution networks in the world at the moment. Much more information we will discuss in our strategic business proposal meeting. All right. So this is a vision and a mission which is 100% possible, which we have been building already. Right. So with that, let me get into a small quote by Robert T. Kiyosaki. Right. He says, the richest people in this world are look for and build networks. Everyone else look for jobs. Said by Robert T. Kiyosaki. Right. Some of the examples, a network of gas stations. See, the big people, the rich people are thinking everything in terms of networks. Okay. Networks. A network of gas stations. Radio network. Right. Television network. And we think it as distribution network. Same as Coca-Cola thought as distribution network. We think everything in terms of networks. All right. So with that, let me ask you a question. If we reach up to our mission and reach up to 1 billion business partners, and if you are the founder of HP company, and if I come and talk to you, and if I tell you, we have a distribution network of 1 billion business partners, and those business partners are in an extreme high level of mindset of doing business. Okay. If I tell you that, and if I ask you, would you like to partner with us? rather than spending money on advertising and marketing, right? Spending money on shops, right? Spending money on all these unnecessary things. Would you partner with us and put your product to our distribution network so that it will be available everywhere in the planet? If you are the founder of HP, would you do that or not? Would you do that? Of course you would. Why? Let me explain you the advantages for HP if you do that, if you are the founder of HP. Okay, 100% risk optimization. How? Because the entire model is changing in a way, cash in first and cash out later, right? There's no risk. They're cutting off that entire expenses in the middle, right? Almost 80%, right? And the second advantage, extreme high level of global reach. If 1 billion business partners start recommending laptops to the entire world, just imagine, who will not know about HP? Who will not know about any product partner who is going to partner with us? Right? The entire world would know about a new product launch immediately, right? And they can go on e-commerce and they can immediately buy it also, right? So that's the power of building a distribution network. So we are in the business of building a distribution network, and we are in the business of building the biggest distribution network in the world, right? We are already in that mission for more than 20 plus years already, right? And we are seeking for some more serious business partners who is having that potential so that we can develop them to a certain level, so that you can also become a part of this distribution network as a business partner, right? So there's another quote. Okay, so let me repeat the previous quote once again. You don't build a business, you build people, and then people build the business, right? Slow is fast and fast is slow. So now there's also a book written by Bob Nelson. Okay, companies don't succeed, people do. So I want you to know, it's not the companies who are succeeding, it's the people. The decisions the people make, okay? What type of decisions they make, what type of actions they take, right? That's how the companies are basically succeeding, right? So with that, I want you to know, we are focusing on quality, not the quantity. You understand? Let me repeat again. We are focusing on the quality. We only want to have the most quality people who are going to be partnered with our business project. Why? Because if the quality is there, the quantity will automatically happen. We are seeking for the most quality people only, right? You understand? So you going through this course development module does not mean that I am still willing to partner with you, because we are going to have one more interview, right, before we partner with you, because I want to see your quality. Because the more quality people who are getting into the business, the more faster we grow and build the biggest distribution network in this world, which is our vision and the mission, right? So now I want to explain you about few phases, 5 different phases of our business project. First phase is called implementation phase, where we focus on building the distribution network 80% and selling products about 20%. So if you are coming from a country where our business project is a little bit new, okay, for your country, probably we will be in the implementation phase, where we focus on building the distribution network with the 20% focus on selling products. That means we are discussing more about building the distribution network and we are talking less about the product, right? Selling products, right? So if you are in a country where we have a distribution network more than 10 to 15,000 business partners, okay, probably we will be presenting to you in the strategic business proposal our growing phase, where we focus about 70% on building the distribution network and about 30% on selling products. If your country is at the moment in the phase number 3, which is post-growing phase, okay, we will discuss about 50% about building the distribution network and 50% on selling products. So this may be a country where there are more than 1 million business partners in your country, right? So if you're in a pre-saturated phase, that means phase number 4, probably we'll be talking about 30% about building the distribution network and 70% about selling products. Because if you're in such a country, we have already established as a distribution network. We are in every city, every village already, if you're in the pre-saturated phase. And finally, phase number 5, saturated phase, where we can no longer grow the distribution network because it's already saturated enough, right? Which means about 10 to 15% of the population in your country is already a business partner. Out of your entire population, about 10 to 15% is already into the business project. And they are the ones who are going and talking about all the products, okay, to the entire country. And when we are actually reaching to post-growing phase, that is where billion-dollar companies are partnering with us. In a particular country, if you are reaching to the pre-saturated phase, Okay. All the billion-dollar companies are dying to put their product into our distribution network. They're fighting with each other to put their product into our distribution network. You understand me? So I want you to know, in some of the countries, we are at the moment in implementation phase. Some of the countries, we are in the growing phase. Some of the countries, we are in the post-growing phase. And some of the countries, we are at the moment in pre-saturated phase. Right? So by the time we reach up to 1 billion business partners in this planet, growing the biggest distribution network in the world, probably in almost every country, we will be reaching to the saturated phase. Right? So I want you to know, over the time, starting from implementation phase means focusing more on the business, right? Business oriented, right? Slowly, we are changing by reaching to the saturated phase to product oriented. We are changing from business oriented to product oriented, right? Because there's a point where we can no longer grow the business, right? It is already saturated, right? Everywhere there are business partners, right? You get into a bus, right? And you scream. And many people would raise their hand and say, yes, I'm a business partner of this business project, right? We are going to go for the saturation. And that is where we become the biggest distribution network in the world, right? So we are slowly moving from business oriented to product oriented. And when we are bigger and bigger, that is where we focus on selling products. Now you may be having a question, why don't we become product oriented from the beginning? I hope you got the answer in my previous explanation, right? Because your people will get into the business because of the product and they will run out from the business because of the product. Will that not happen when we actually change to product oriented? No, that will not happen. Do you know why? We'll be selling the best products in the world. For example, if you are selling HP at the moment, and if HP is not number one, what do? We remove HP and we put Dell. So all the business partners in our distribution network now selling only the number one product in the world. Now suddenly, suppose Apple is coming with a better laptop, okay? We remove Dell also and we put Apple. And suddenly Toshiba coming up with a better laptop, right? Okay, Apple, bye-bye, okay? Now come with Toshiba, right? So now we have the power to choose the best products in the world when we are the biggest distribution network in the world. But when you are a small direct selling company, or maybe a medium-sized direct selling company, you can't go and talk to a billion-dollar company and ask for a partnership. And they would ask a simple question from you, right? What is the size of your distribution network? And if they say 20,000, maybe 1 million, maybe 2 million, okay, they would say, not interested, right? But what if they say 1 billion? Everybody is interested to put their product into our distribution network. That is where we are focusing on building the distribution network first, and then sell products and services to the entire world. I hope it is very clear for you. If it is not clear, listen to this lesson once again. Okay. First, we are focusing on building the biggest distribution network in the world so that we are going to have all the best products in the world. And then later, when we are reaching to pre-saturated and saturated phases, we are focusing more on selling products. Even the post-growing phase, phase number 3, still we are focusing 50% on selling products, right? So now I don't know what is the phase of your country. So discuss this with the person who is actually coordinating you, whether it is in the implementation phase, growing phase, post-growing phase, pre-saturated phase, or saturated phase. All right. So now with that, you have a very big question in your mind. How do I get paid? How much I can earn money, right? For what I'm actually getting paid, right? These are other questions in your mind. And how am I going to become a part of this business project as a business partner and help to grow this distribution network globally? How can I actually help on that? Right? So for that, how you get paid, how you actually growing globally. For that, you need to understand about the dividend structures. So the next lesson is going to be on explaining you detailed discussion about what are the available dividend structures utilized by the direct selling model, okay, in this planet, and what are the best. And out of best, you're going to go through a comparison. And out of that comparison, you're going to understand what is the best dividend structure in the world. And that's what we have actually utilized in growing this distribution network globally and also paying you the highest amount of money as an equal profit share. All right. So with that, I'm going to bring this lesson to an end. And I'm going to come again with the new lesson, which explains you about all the dividend structures. Till then, have a good day and take care. See you soon.